Go ahead, Nanny. The Christmas. They in there though.
Yeah, they in there. All right.
I don't know.
Oh, girl, we thank you. Okay. So just so y'all can see, I'm trying to get my hair braided.
So hold on them horses.
I'm trying to get my hair braided. My little sister's braiding my hair.
Y'all will be okay. Y'all can wait a little bit.
It's been 2 hours.
We'll wake up tomorrow, God willing. You'll be okay.
Oh my God.
You gonna talk about it tomorrow too? You'll be okay.
I can't. Anyways.
Y'all ain't. Tell them, talk to them.
I want to make sure y'all saw that I was there.
You showed them early.
My sister's a hot mess. So anyway, we're gonna go over Monday Night Raw really quickly. Dry, can you turn the TV down just a little bit? It's on the bed. Hold on a sec. That's my sister. Okay.
What happened? What was it?
So, all right, first things first. Mr. Wonderful passed away today, so you have to we send our condolences to Mr. Wonderful because he died. It's very, very sad for him. Yes, ma'am. I put it together before I go on here.
That's you need to pay. That's a lot of work.
I just said I need to pay me.
You doing a lot of work, buddy. Pay you.
All right, y'all. So we're going to talk about Money in the Bank for a little bit, okay? Just for a little bit. Now, the match card has changed for Money in the Bank. I was going to talk about, will you leave me alone? I was going to talk about Monday Night Raw, but really all it did was lead into what's going to happen at Money in the Bank. Now, for sure, Bayley and Bianca's match is not happening due to the fact that Bayley is injured. So that's dead and gone. What they're going to do is have Bianca defend her title Friday at the first live SmackDown show. I think they're going to be in Texas. If I'm wrong, please correct me. How was my road trip? It was okay. What happened? Oh. Anyways, the good thing about Monday Night Raw was the fact that they finished up setting up everybody for Money in the Bank, and Morrison and Ricochet had a very good Falls Count Anywhere match that I really liked. There wasn't a lot of promoing or monologuing. They really had a lot of matches, which was pretty cool for Monday Night Raw. Hello, people, Planet Earth and Don. I was a whole hour early and came in late. It's okay. I just started literally 3 minutes ago. I'm late because I had to get my hair done. I'm still getting my hair done. My sister's still braiding my hair right now as we speak. So I'm gonna finish up talking about she said, well, looky here. Tirza is the one who convinced me to go live because I wasn't going to. I was gonna wait until after she finished my hair. And that would be more comfortable that way. But Tirza just couldn't wait. Miss Bams could not wait. So Morrison and and Rhea versus Natty was my favorite from the night. Rhea and Natty's match was fine. I thought they had decent chemistry with each other. But anyways, we already talked about Monday Night Raw specifically. We just commented on some things. A little bit about Raw that I didn't like was the fact that Humberto didn't really get a chance to go up against Sheamus. I thought that was kind of messed up. They did set up Damian Priest and Humberto, so I guess that's okay. But I really wanted Humberto to get that opportunity and possibly be champion. He could have been a good transitional champion. But I guess they're gonna drop that title to Damian Priest. More than likely, that will happen at SummerSlam, if anything. Um, so that's fine. I just wanted Umberto to get out the blocks a little bit. It seems like Umberto just can't get right, which is a little unfair. But anyway, and they had what else? They are gonna have the Viking Raiders versus Omos and AJ Styles, which, by the way, that match with Omos and Eric was terrible. I don't know what they're gonna do with Omos, but one thing I will say is they need to let him just be an enforcer, and he needs to never set foot in a ring again. He's not prepared, he's not ready, and he's just not good enough to be a wrestler, in my personal opinion. Um, let's talk about Money in the Bank. I don't know if they watch it, babe. If they have Rhea drop that title to Charlotte, I'm gonna be really disappointed. Well, I'm gonna hope that they don't, for Rhea's sake, so Rhea can keep pushing forward as the new champion. But I don't. At first I thought they were gonna do it, but I think that they're going to allow Charlotte. Charlotte's just working with Rhea to help get her over. I think that's the thing. Right now, Charlotte's the best villain you got until she can be moved possibly over to SmackDown, which is where I would move Charlotte during the draft. I would book her to be on SmackDown for sure and move Bayley to Monday Night Raw. But, hopefully, speaking of hair, I have to take mine out. I'm crying in Spanish. Well, hopefully they don't make tears disappointed when they decide to on what they decide to do in terms of Rhea and Charlotte Flair. So let's talk about the Money in the Bank matches. Now, I don't have the Eric and Ivar match card, although they do. I mean, the Viking Raiders match card, though they do have a match scheduled for them for Money in the Bank. It was added today, I believe. So they do have a match. I just don't have it in my cards as of lately. So as far as the big championship, Roman is going to be facing Edge, which personally, this is probably going to be my favorite rivalry on the match card. I think Edge really, really rose to the occasion when it came to his character to go up against a guy like Roman at his current personality, or his current persona, rather. It works for him. So I'm okay with this particular feud, and I really like it. And of course, the bloodline thing is still going for now. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it plays out. More than likely, Roman will be Edge at Money in the Bank, and they're going to continue on with the next feud at SummerSlam, which could possibly be John Cena if he's available, or they may even do a face turn for Seth Rollins and have Rollins go up against Roman at that point. But we don't know. We have to wait and see what they're going to do. Another big title match that's going to happen again is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Not quite sure as to how this could go. Honestly, it could go either way. Charlotte could end up getting the title from Rhea and have a nice Raw Women's Champion run for herself, making her, a 14, 15-time champion. Whereas Rhea Ripley could maintain the title and keep her championship and possibly have another run with someone else on the roster like Shayna or Natty or something. Or Naya specifically. Or she can go up against Bliss or anybody. It's really a really good piece for her to go up against. Let me get some of y'all comments in. Raw was Raw. Wasn't awesome, but it wasn't horrible. I can say this about Eva. Her acting is good. Her promos have gotten better. I want to say the same about her wrestling, but I can't. I love Charlotte, but she doesn't need to be champion. I hope she's taking a page out of Bayley, Sasha, and Asuka's book and is helping put over and build new stars. That's going to be my favorite match, too, for Money in the Bank. Imagine the crowd reaction. I think that match is just going to be great. But anyways, let's move into the other singles matches that's happening at Money in the Bank. The other big championship is Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. Let me put some more comments up. Raw was okay. Hi, Sasha. How are you? Do you think it seems to give? Okay. Do you think it? Oh, oh, baby. Do you think I can't? I don't even know how to read this. Usually, I can kind of switch the words around and make it work, but I can't. Okay, wait. Give Short a title. The Short at the title this Sunday if WWE goes in that direction. Okay, Jackson, John L. Jackson, you're gonna have to rewrite this, baby, because I'm telling you right now. Usually, I can kind of rearrange the words so I can read this, but baby, I can't do that. Not this time. I don't know what this means. It seemed like you asking me about one of the titles, and if it seems like it's a little short for them to change the direction, or I need help, baby. You have to help me because I'm a little lost. Hi, Nicole. How are you? I want to see how the fans react to Roman, Alexa's new character, Drew, and Vince. Well, we know how they're going to react to Drew. I don't know how they're going to react to Vince. I don't understand why you bringing Vince in there. Vince needs to be at home. He don't want to be around COVID. I'm serious. He's 70 something years old. He needs to be at home. That's part of the reason why the product is where it's at. He been him pulling back. It's good signs that things are starting to change when he pulls back. That's all I'm saying. As far as Bliss's character, we pretty much know how people are going to react to certain characters because they've already voiced their opinion on social media multiple times. But I guess when there's a loud crowd, live crowd there, maybe things will be different. I'm good, Tiff. How are you? I'm fine. I just wanted an unlikely friendship for Piper and Alexa. I was disappointed. Oh well. Maybe they'll go for that, but I like the fact that they pulled Bliss off of Nia and Shayna and put her on Eva. Maybe that'll be a good way to bring Eva back in and, give her something to do since she don't want to wrestle. Or rather, since they're not going to give her wrestling, let her wrestle in the ring. Her persona is pretty much anything to win, whatever. Anyway, Kofi's going up against Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley cut a promo at the end of the night, basically, telling MVP to focus and get his head off these bitches' asses that he keep bringing around him, and they need to get back to where they was, which was the hurt business. But they just gonna be, just them, the duo, the business, and that's all he did, and tear up MVP's VIP lounge. I mean, I guess it was okay for Bobby Lashley. There was nothing short of the intensity that he already displays on a regular basis, so that wasn't really new. It was new that he told MVP the truth for once, so that was different. Other than that, the best thing about Monday Night Raw was that match with John Morrison and Ricochet. That was a good match between the two of them. Now, moving on, as far as Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston is concerned for a winner, unfortunately, Bobby Lashley more than likely will retain that title against Kofi. I hope it's not a squash match and Kofi actually, at least it looks like Kofi had a chance to beat Bobby Lashley. It would be totally unfair to Kofi and Bobby Lashley for it to just be a one-sided bout when both men are very capable of beating each other, whether it's all power and brawn or it's actually a fight. Both men have the capabilities to fight. And it'd be more interesting to watch a real match than to watch a squash match on a pay-per-view. So I hope that that's what they're going to do with it. Moving on to the women's Money in the Bank. So I got a couple rumors for this women's Money in the Bank that I think Marlon would really like. But I'm going to read some of his comments and then I'm going to tell you some things. Okay. I have a feeling that Bobby will squash Kofi. Do I like the idea? I hate it. But given Bobby's actions this Monday, and if they want to set up this Brock feud, set up Brock versus Kofi. Who said they wanted to set up Brock versus Kofi? Oh, Brock versus Bobby. I feel like Bobby will squash Kofi like Brock did. I highly doubt that will happen. If they do that, I'll never forgive WWE for that. Never. I'm so excited for the live crowd. I'm beyond excited to go to SmackDown in September. Yes, Tears is going to SmackDown, ladies and gents. Now, they will be here in Cleveland on the 23rd, which I believe is next week. But I'm not going to be able to go because I can't afford the tickets and I don't do nosebleed seats, honey. Okay? Maybe a lot of things. Why I'm a little bougie and I can't afford it, so I'm not going to go. I'll watch it from home. Besides, the people I want to see ain't going to be there. They're going to be at Rolling Loud in Miami wrestling on TV. Okay? So I'm gonna pay $60 for a ticket to squeeze my big ass in the seat, and I can't even see the people I paid to see. All right, not doing that. I'm not doing that. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, when it comes to this Money in the Bank match for the women, there are a couple rumors that are out there. So I remember a couple weeks ago, Marlon posted under one of my posts on Instagram that he thought Sonya was going to come back in time to be in the Money in the Bank and to take that last spot. Well, there was a rumor that has come out that confirms what he thought was going to happen. So, as I told Marlon, if what he said came true, I would give him his props for that. So basically, Sonya has been in the ring preparing to return to wrestling and leave her authoritative figure behind. Now, this is all speculation and rumor until I get something confirmed and concrete. But as of right now, she has been seen in the performance center going through the motions of getting rid of ring rust, making sure she is there for mandatory what they call them, mandatory practices. She was there for all of those things, and she's also been in the ring on her own time, trying to keep up with the ring regimen so that she doesn't have that ring rust when she does return to the ring. Now, if you don't know, Bayley is injured. As of right now, she tore her ACL during a mandatory practice, and she's not going to be able to compete at Money in the Bank against Bianca, which is why that match has been changed and moved to Friday, and Bianca is going to compete against Carmella. Now, with that happening, that left the opening in the Money in the Bank match. There were already 2 slots open. Now there were 3 at that time. So instead of forcing Liv to compete again, they simply gave Liv Carmella's spot, and there were 2 slots open. They then moved and gave Natalya one of the slots, and now there is 1 spot open. So here's my thing. As much as I like Natalya, and as much as I respect her, I don't think Natalya should be in the Money in the Bank match. I think this would have been a good time to put Shotzi in the driver's seat when it came to, putting on a really good show. Shotzi's one of your creative, high flyer. She has no fear when it comes to matches, and this would be right in her wheelhouse. This would have been a smarter play than to put Natalya in the match when you could have added a match for the Women's Tag Team Championship for the kickoff, or you could have let that be your lead-out match for the show. Even keeping it under 2 hours, you can still add this match in there. But you don't have that many matches, and then you have the 2 big Money in the Bank matches. So I thought that they were going to do that, but they decided to put her in the match. I don't really care for it. It's not that I hate Natalya or anything, but she didn't. I feel like as a tag team champion, she doesn't need to be in the Money in the Bank. There are no current tag team champions in the Money in the Bank for the men. So I didn't understand why it was like that for the women. However, I digress. That's what they decided to do. And now there's a rumor out that says Sonya is going to be the last entrant in the Money in the Bank match for the women. And if that's the case, good for Sonya. I wouldn't mind Sonya winning Money in the Bank or Naomi. And I wouldn't mind Bliss getting it again, or if they can give it to Liv if they want to. But I probably would lean more towards Sonya or Naomi if I was picking 2 participants in the Money in the Bank that I wanted to win. Let me put some of these questions up. I was going to ask about the ticket situation for Tirza, but I got distracted. I'd rather save up for WrestleMania. Is it one more contender for the women's money in the bank? Yes, it's one more. My mother and her friends and my sister tried it. Long story short, they've been sitting in the first level in the 12th row. They'll be sitting on the first level in the 12th row, and I'll be sitting on the floor, third row, ringside. Ma'am. You gonna leave your sister and your mother like that. Naomi, yeah, as much as I love Naomi, I don't think they're gonna give it to her. I hope that they do, though. I really do. I hope that they give her the title. I mean, the Money in the Bank, because I mean, she hasn't won it, and I feel like Naomi would do some good with it, whether it be bad or good. As long as they don't make her a failed cash in, that would be great for me. The final Money in the Bank match would be the men's Money in the Bank. And we have 8 competitors, just like in the women's Money in the Bank. We've got Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Matt Riddle, Ricochet, Morrison, Big E, Shinsuke, and Seth Rollins. Now, out of all 8 of these men, my 2 picks are probably going to be Kevin Owens, and I'm going to say Ricochet. I like I like Big E, and I wouldn't mind Big E winning. I think Big E would be like an honorable mention for me. Me personally, I would prefer KO have it. KO is the type of person who could work as a heel with the Money in the Bank, and he would work well as a face with the Money in the Bank. And I think Ricochet needs it more than anybody on this roster. Out of everyone, he's the only one who really hasn't had a lot of traction as of lately. He hasn't really been in any big matches except for this past week. Well, this past Monday So Ricochet needs it more than anyone. Riddle doesn't need it. Morrison doesn't need it. Shinsuke doesn't need it. Seth Rollins definitely doesn't need it. And Drew McIntyre doesn't need it. So I would give it to either KO or Ricochet. But I am curious as to how this match is going to play out and who's going to win it. You got some high flyers, you got some technicals, you got some big guys. They got a nice mix of people in this match. I'm just really interested in who's going to win and how everything is going to play out. Let me see some of y'all comments here. So I feel like they're going to give it to Bliss. I wanted Naomi go win so bad. I was yelling. Or her husband being the catalyst for her deactivating her Twitter account. And he's still able to be in storylines. At the least they can do is let her win Money in the Bank. They owe her that. My picks are Ricochet and Seth Rollins. I don't think Seth Rollins is going to win it, but okay. Right? They mixed up that match. They mixed that match up. Beyond that, Naomi fucking deserves it. I was still the tiniest bit mad about Cesaro. I'm okay now. I actually was very upset that Cesaro wasn't in Money in the Bank. I thought he would have added an element that would have made it really fun. But I am glad that Seth is in Money in the Bank because he has a way of just making things really fun for Money in the Bank. So Seth Rollins was a good addition to Money in the Bank. I also said that I wanted Sonya to win Money in the Bank last year when she was feuding with Mandy. Well, this ain't last year. We talking about this year. And what you said already, I gave you your props. Goodness me. No, I'm not. God damn, I already. God, since Tears have brought it up, let's talk about the Glow Queen, okay? If you seen the push Tamina did to Dana, yeah, I seen her push her. She let her do it. Stupid ass. Anyway, anyway. Do you see Seth Rollins interfering in the Roman Reigns match to build up his match towards SummerSlam against Edge? Do I see him interfering in his match? Maybe. It's very possible that he does interfere. I can see that happening. I generally can. And it would be a smart way to bring Edge into Seth Rollins rather than to have them start their feud on live television. Let it start through the pay-per-view, and Edge can use that same animosity and fury and go straight into Seth Rollins rather than to wait cool off, and then have a whole week and then start it. Like, no, like let it start now while it's still hot and fresh. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever experienced racist wrestling fans? Yes, I have. I was talking to We Love Wrestling earlier tonight, which was gonna come out on Wednesday, so I highly recommend that you guys go and listen to it. Down for the Count was featured on there for his podcast for this week. I have experienced racist wrestling fans. It usually um older white men. It's not older, it's usually just white men between the ages of like 18 and 35 who generally believe, one, that women have no place in wrestling, and two, that as a black woman I need to keep my mouth shut. I've been called a lot of things. I got called a bed wench once. I've been called a fat nigga bitch. I've been called a lot of things. But it ain't what you called, it's what you answer to. So as far as I'm concerned, them calling me those names only explains how ignorant they are and really shows how evil they are. It has nothing to do with me. Not biased, but I do want Seth to win. I just see him holding it. It's a good feeling when the baby faces win the briefcase, but heel Money in the Bank holders are so much more entertaining. Honestly, I do agree that heel Money in the Bank holders are entertaining, but we always, like, for all of the women, most of the women Money in the Bank holders were heels, except for Bailey. Bailey was the only one who had Money in the Bank and wasn't a heel at the time. So it'd be interesting to see who gets Money in the Bank for the women and what they do with it. But I think KO as a face Money in the Bank holder would work for him because he doesn't operate the way normal face characters do. He's more of an anti-hero type of character. He still says what he wants to say. He still goes at it on at least 110% every time. Like, Kevin Owens would be the perfect person in my mind to give Money in the Bank to right now. If they gave it to Ricochet, I'd be very curious to see how he would use it. You know what I'm saying? Fans are trash. That's facts, Nicole. 100%. Oh my God, they can really push Naomi if they wanted to. WWE be tripping. Yes, we were. I called that months ago. The second Seth cut that promo with Sonya and Adam listing his accomplishments and qualifications to face Roman, and then they give Roman a title opportunity, I said Seth will interfere somehow. She did say that. I give her props for that. I have this feeling that Sasha Banks is going to be the last person added to the Money in the Bank, but she would not need the Money in the Bank contract. I don't think Sasha's going to be added to that match. My feeling is this: if Sasha doesn't want to do another Hell in a Cell match due to the fact that she has that permanent injury, then I don't think that she would be a part of Money in the Bank either. Money in the Bank is just as dangerous and brutal as Hell in a Cell, if not worse. The way those people be bouncing off them fucking ladders, I wouldn't want to do that shit either. And as far as I'm concerned, I think Sasha's done enough history making. I wouldn't be in Money in the Bank if I was her. I go sit my black ass down somewhere. But back to Naomi. So Naomi had a situation with fans trolling her to the point that she ended up shutting down her Twitter and completely leaving and putting her Instagram on private. And it's because the fans, not the fans, but troll accounts really attacked her over what happened with Jimmy. Jimmy. Hold on a second. Seth don't need the briefcase. I agree, as he should. No, he doesn't need it, but it would be entertaining. I disagree. I think y'all always want your favorites at the top, and at some point, and you ask for something different. Well, you can't get anything different if you're always asking for the same people. You have to start moving into new things. And Seth Rollins, it was Jimmy. Okay, I had it right. And Seth Rollins is a great character and he's a great wrestler, but giving Seth Rollins the Money in the Bank is unnecessary. It's unnecessary. So Jimmy Uso got caught for the third time with a DUI. Now, this is his third time within the last 3 years. He got popped in 2018. He then got popped in 2019. And last year, because we were on hiatus, he didn't get popped. So this year, he got caught driving while drunk. Now, Jimmy was well over the legal limit. The legal limit in Florida is point 0.8. He blew a 0.205. That is beyond 3 times the legal amount for you to have alcohol in your system and operate a vehicle. Okay. So he obviously was wasted beyond his years. If you go back, if you Google the TMZ picture, he was tore up. Okay. Now, I understand people having their opinion about that and basically saying Jimmy needs to go get help. 100% I agree. And if it walk like a duck, then it's a duck. Jimmy Uso has been popped 3 times for a DUI. He was driving 2 of the times, and the other time Naomi was driving, but he was drunk in all 3 occasions nonetheless. So the fact that he's drinking so heavily and he's blowing the breathalyzer out the water, it's dangerous. And a lot of people are very concerned for his health and, of course, for his safety and the safety of others. Now, I understand people being, concerned about Naomi, but people are taking it very far to the point that they are attacking her and blaming her for Jimmy's mistakes. Now, there was a particular user on Twitter that was on Twitter attacking her and saying it was her fault that Jimmy Uso was drunk and while driving, and that she is the reason why he's drinking like this, and she needs to divorce him, and just going at her 100%. There was another user that was a Sasha Banks fan account that was calling her all types of monkeys and racial slurs and saying she needed to kill herself and everything else. It was very, very ugly. It got to the point where some people found out who this person was. They found out their address and they doxed them on Twitter. Both of these accounts, from my understanding, have been shut down. At least that's what I saw on Twitter. But I'm not too particularly sure about if they've been brought back up or anything like that. But I know for a fact that Naomi deactivated her Twitter and she put her Instagram account to private. And she hasn't unlocked them since. Let me put up some of these comments. Give it to R-Truth. Naomi is my girl. It has been since day one. Did you remember when Naomi turned heel and people called Naomi the N-word? She's been getting called the N-word for a while. That's Naomi. She's married to Jimmy Uso. Yeah, one of the twins that wrestle on SmackDown with the Roman's little cousins and the Rocks. They all family. Okay, these trolls shouldn't be. These trolls shouldn't be blaming Naomi. Baby, you on the bed? Okay. She'll be blaming Naomi. She's not responsible for Jimmy Uso's actions. Jimmy Uso was responsible for his own actions. Facts. Blowing a 205 live, Nicole. I hate to laugh, but that was funny. I'm sorry. Well, I really would like to see R-Truth accidentally win the briefcase or Rumble one day. I would pop so hard for that. The fact that people are blaming her is beyond fucking ridiculous. Facts. Would it be right if WWE doesn't punish Jimmy, but punishes someone else if they do what Jimmy did? No. But here's the thing. So what I think happened, and I have to give Terry credit here because Terry and I believe it was Culture Podcast and Know the Ropes Podcast. We talked to them today with Nicole about it today a little bit. It was really brief, but I remember Terry saying that they probably made Jimmy Roman's responsibility. And that makes more sense to me with this whole storyline going. They do need Jimmy out there in order for the bloodline to work the way that they had been planning. Jimmy Uso getting into trouble the way he did literally would have blew up everything that they had planned for the next couple of months. So I think Roman may have abdicated and was like, look, I will step in and keep my cousin in line. And that's probably what's going to happen more than likely. Um, Terry also brought it up too. Let me put Terry's stuff up here. Terry also brought it up that more than likely Naomi will be moved back to SmackDown when the draft happens, and they also will be charged with keeping Jimmy Uso in line until he can get off TV and get some help or whatever. Um, that's all well and good in my mind, and it makes sense that maybe that's what happened. It's the only way I can make any sense of them not pulling him from television, because if it was anybody else, they most definitely would have. They would not be allowed to perform, on given the fact that they've been arrested. Like they did pull Jeff Hardy when he was but he was already out on injury when he got popped for a DUI. But again, the situations, though they mirror, they're different. Jimmy Usos was on live television in a ongoing storyline, and he should have been more careful, more specifically that he could have hurt someone. And if he knew he was that drunk, then he should have just walked home. I'd rather him be or get an Uber and go home. But getting behind a vehicle was dangerous because you put other people's lives in danger as well as your own. Um, I'm hoping that the case is Roman is like, we're gonna get them together and I'm gonna pull them together. Just don't pull them from TV. If you got a cousin that got the kind of pull that he has, I'm pretty sure that's how it was able to go the way that it went. And the fact that WWE's heavily invested in the bloodline and they needed to work in order to keep SmackDown where it is. So I'm not surprised. It is very messed up. No, if it was Undertaker, he could have passed too. He definitely wouldn't have got nothing would have been said to him. Not a damn thing. Someone even went as low as tweeting their address. You talking about Jimmy and Naomi's address? For what? That's crazy. I reported that account. Social media is unfortunately beyond control, but I do feel like all social media platforms and WWE need to do a better job of protecting their talent when it comes to situations like this. Good, they deserve to get docs coming at her like that, especially Twitter. Exactly, because they fired RGD over some weed. They've done it with people before. They don't want to have a Sting and Jeff situation again. They turned Jeff Hardy's situation into a storyline. Yeah, they did. But the time frame that he got the DUI, he was injured and he was driving. He was rehabbing his injury, and he was driving while drunk. Is that the reason why he's not for a while? Who, Jeff? Mm-mm. Matt's still alive. He just went to fucking AEW. What happened with Jeff and Matt is Jeff and Matt were tag team champions, and then he got injured, so he had to drop the title. While he was rehabbing, I guess whatever was going on with him, he started drinking and he got popped for a DUI. And that was shortly after, he was supposed to come back soon. They were saying he was coming back soon. He got popped for a DUI, so they held him off TV a little bit longer. Now, they did end up turning Jeff's situation into a storyline with him and Sheamus. Before that, they were using um they used Joe to do it, and Joe was picking at Jeff Hardy for being an alcoholic as well. It's not something to make fun of, but the way I see it is, if Jeff Hardy agrees to it, who am I to tell him that he can't do it? That's his own decision. You know what I'm saying? So, top 5 pandemic era matches and your favorite moments from the era. Well, right now, honey, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that, baby. You're going to have to wait. Fans are getting out of hand. That Sting and Jeff match was messed up, but it was kind of funny. too. Hi, Chef Rika. So, all in all, I feel really bad for Naomi, and I feel like she shouldn't have to be punished for something that her husband did. I don't really understand how you can correlate what Jimmy Uso did with her specifically. It just seems to me like people are just looking for somebody to blame, and they decided to blame her. Of all the people they could blame, they decided to blame her. It really grinds my gears that they went there.
Grind your
Jeff Hardy cute though. Well, he's an attractive man, true enough.
Yeah.
Jeff was drinking. Oh Lord have mercy. He's attractive. Now let's go to the next topic. What was my next topic?
What that girl was trying to talk about, but you said no.
That was a boy, by the way.
Just so we know one time talk about that again.
I don't
We
want
ain't fair.
to talk about the pandemic era matches.
Oh, man.
Shut up. I was ready to fight everybody. Nobody messes with my girl. The mess. Like a white girl at a bachelorette party. No, he was not. Y'all are wilding. Anyway, what did I put on here? What's my tablet? Oh, just let me see it.
See? If I get to you, let me see.
Give me that's unfortunate. You know exactly why you like this. I can't just you know. You can't. It was cold. I was ready to give Jimmy this work too. Like you get your shit together, man. Rick Week versus John Morrison. I talked about that earlier, Michelle. If you missed it, I'm sorry. We'll talk about it again. It's a bad deal. Okay, bye. It is MMA. Which one? The Bachelorette or the one friend you know you shouldn't have invited? That's the response to the code. Okay, so let me see right Okay, so this was the final Raw in the Thunderdome, and they are going to go back to live shows. Can y'all hear me? Because I'm on my phone. Since you made me go live, I'm on my phone and not on my computer. So the mic might be messed up a little bit. My sister trying to do my hair. Can y'all hear me?
Girl, we hear you.
Shut up. Okay, it's better. All right, cool. So the SBs, Bianca and Sasha. Bianca and Sasha did win an SB this past weekend. Bianca made her own dress for the SBs, and sis looked real nice. Sasha went in there with her dress on, had a whole ass out with the thong and the Swarovski crystals all over the dress. It was cute for Sasha, you know. She got a certain aesthetic, obviously. Sasha like a lot of one pieces and a lot of, cut out things. That's where Sasha go. Well, it was kind of like a nod to Rihanna's dress, but it was a little bit more risque. Well, Rihanna's whole ass was out when she wore her dress. And Sasha just put on a black, a black thong that kind of had a little bit of ass out. And she turned around, you can see her ass. You could definitely, yeah, you can see it. But it was cute, and I really liked her shoes. I loved her shoes. She always has really good shoes. Well, sometimes. Sometimes this. No, she wear real good shoes. She do. She do. She wear real good ones. Get her. She be wearing some good Jimmy Choos, and yeah, she be sis be getting them together. To answer your question, Aaliyah, Nicole said the one you shouldn't have invited. Sasha looked fine as hell. They both did. Yeah, she looked nice. She said I couldn't take my eyes off Bianca. They both look good. I thought Bianca's dress was real nice. For her to have made that dress, Bianca looked damn good. And her husband Montez compliments her very well. The only thing I would ask, I know that it's a style for the boys to wear the knickerbocker pants with a suit. I don't too particularly care for that. His was quite short. There was like, calf length. It looked nice on Montez. I ain't gonna front. But that's just not a style I care for. But both of them looked really good. They did. They looked really, really good. Now, I don't know where Sasha's husband was, but Sasha was at the ESPYs by herself. Bianca had her man there, and I was sitting there like, where's Kamikaze? Where he at? Sasha's married. Okay. I was like, Alexis, where's your man? Where is he? This is a big day for you. You're getting ready to win a big award. You should have him with you. Okay? Why he ain't busy doing nothing. Sasha looked great, but she was over accessorized. I liked her makeup. I thought her makeup was flawless. I loved her hair. I thought for once they got sis hair right. I liked her dress. And I really, really loved her shoes. I thought overall the look was complete. But no. I wonder where Makazi. Wonder why Makazi never comes to the awards with Sasha. I don't think he goes places with her because it don't match her aesthetic. Well, I mean, you married him, boo-boo. What is as bad as Pat McAfee's shorts 2 years ago? No. And actually, Pat McAfee's shorts wasn't that bad. It's just I'm not a fan of like wearing shorts with a suit. For me, that's what you do for a little boy when he's like 3 and 4 years old and he's getting the Easter suit. That's what you do for a little boy. I don't know, because of the way my dad dresses and the way I've seen him dress throughout the years, even when times have changed. My father has a classic look. So that's just what I've come to like and expect when it comes to dressing with suits. And I can get with some of the new trends and some of the older trends that are being brought back, like the pencil leg suit, the more form-fitting suit from the 50s and, in the 40s. It's not bad. It's just different. Bianca was on Hot 97 with Peter Rosenberg, and I was watching it on YouTube, and I found myself scrolling and watching her NXT matches. I found myself getting emotional. Bianca is a star. Yeah, to me, she's always been a star, and I really do like Bianca, and I think that Bianca she just exudes what it means to be that girl. Nicole said, "What's this new?" When she was on Hot 97 with Peter Rosenberg, was it new? I'm not sure. I didn't even know she was on there with Peter. But I know Peter's a big fan and he sometimes does stuff for WWE. I didn't know he had superstars on Hot 97 though. But it's really cool for Bianca. And she's had a banger of a year. Bianca's WWE Women's Champion. She's gotten an ESPY. It won't be long before you start seeing Bianca on TV and in movies, okay? She's always been that girl. Yes. That match she had in NXT against Rhea Ripley and that fatal four-way she was in with Shayna, Io, and Kyrie. Oh, it was fantastic. She's lived up to her expectations multiple times over. Can't do nothing but respect that. All right. So Cole says, yeah, he had Roman on his podcast, Cheap Heat. Oh, all the people of color been on Rosenberg's podcast. Good shit. Yeah, it's new. She was on promoting SmackDown coming to MSG in September. Roman was on last week. Oh, that's interesting. So WWE has partnered with Tik Tock. And I know y'all probably wondering like how the hell did they do that, but I'm going to explain how. So earlier today, I didn't even get the chance to post the whole video that I made for it. I'll probably post it after this video is done. But Tik Tock has a thing on their website called Tik Tock Resumes. And Tik Tock Resumes allows you to pitch yourself for any job or permission or position in any company that's working directly with TikTok. So currently right now, there are some big corporations that are working with TikTok to hire potential candidates to work for them. People, big old companies like Target, Best Buy, Chipotle, and now WWE. Okay. Now, what they said you had to do, I don't want to be no WWE wrestler. Fool, not a wrestler. Do that, but you pay for it. They said it's for wrestlers, for superstars. Oh, that's not for you. Shut up. You no, I don't want to be no damn wrestler. I know a bunch of people that follow me, and some of my friends want to be wrestlers. So, will you shut up? Yes, Lord, have mercy. You go home tomorrow? Yeah. All right, y'all. So, according to Wrestle Talk and this TikTok post, let me put some of y'all comments up. I was legit crying watching it. I'm like, why am I crying? I'm the worst. So TikTok and WWE are collabing basically to find their next big thing. And if you want to be a wrestler and you want to be a part of WWE, here's what you got to do. According to TikTok resume section, WWE put a post up that says this, and I quote, WWE is recognized leader in global sports and entertainment with programming available in more than 800 million households worldwide across more than 180 countries, over 20 languages. One of the world's most influential brands, WWE has over 1 billion followers across 15 platforms. At WWE, we recruit athletes and performers from around the world with wide-ranging backgrounds, including the NFL, NBA, MMA, Olympic sports, collegiate athletics, the military, strongman, the world of entertainment, and now TikTok. And here's their requirements for an ideal candidate. You need to have world-class athleticism, size, flexibility, strength, and agility, personality and charisma, global appeal and diversity, coachability, work ethic, and professionalism. So for everybody who has a dream of being a WWE superstar, you can audition on TikTok resumes and possibly be the next big thing for WWE. Now, this could be NXT. This could be going to the flagship for Raw or SmackDown. It really depends on you and what you're able to show you're capable of. So if you want to be a WWE superstar, looks like TikTok's your best shot. Good luck. In the words of RuPaul, don't fuck it up. Okay? Moving on to the final topic of the night so I can get out of y'all hair. I just have to be 15. I think you have to do more than that, baby. Hello, Quan. Tisha said, well, bitch, I fit all. Well, do you, baby. Go on and put yourself out there. You done already tried and did all this stuff with WWE folk. Go on and do it again. If you ain't got bad knees, you can do it. Tiff, when you was a kid, did you ever think about becoming a wrestler? No, actually, I never wanted to be a wrestler. I enjoyed watching the product, but I never wanted to actually do it. At best, the closest thing I ever wanted to do was to be like a on-screen character, like a manager or a the general manager or somebody's manager or valet. I never wanted to be an actual wrestler. That's not something that I would like to do. I mean, I would learn how to take a bump, maybe throw a punch or two, something like that, but I wouldn't want to do full time wrestling. That's not something that I cared for. So let me see what Chef Rike says. I'm so excited. I'm going to SmackDown here in Georgia in September. Well, congratulations. I hope you have a good time. Let me see if I have any other topics that I did not cover. Besides it being Sami Zayn's birthday and people needing to donate. Oh, Keith Lee. Honestly, taking a bump is the hardest part. Oh, yeah, look, training yourself on how to fall properly. That probably will take me out. So yesterday was, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was day before yesterday. Sunday marked the 1 year anniversary to Keith Lee winning both the having the North American Championship and winning the NXT Championship and being the only NXT superstar to ever accomplish that feat. And Keith Lee had been sent that photo many times, and they were like, "We can't wait to see you back in the ring." And Keith Lee had a post that he posted that I posted on my Instagram that I wanted people to see. He said, "Many of you are reminding me of this day a year ago. So much has happened since then, and it feels so long ago." He says, "Patience, my friends. There is zero quit in me, so don't you quit on me. I miss you and I love you," which leads me to believe that eventually, whatever is going on with Keith Lee, whether it be this trademark thing that I'm hearing or something else, that it'll finally come to an end and Keith Lee will be back on the roster. Now, where Keith Lee will end up, I'm not sure, but I think Keith Lee will show up more than likely somewhere around the draft. They're probably going to have him in the draft pool and bring him up. And if I were WWE, I would draft Keith Lee. I would draft Finn Balor. I would put him in that draft pool because there's nothing for him to do in NXT anymore. I really, really would shake some shit up. September 16th is my birthday. The show is September 17th. Yep, it gets easier when you do it more. The first is the worst, but it still does feel good. Doesn't feel good. I wanted to go to catering. That's all. I still dream about possibly having those cookies. Wow, that is interesting. I want to be a wrestler. I'm gonna keep working on it what I can at my age until I turn of age, like my body and acting promo skills. Um, I think that's great, but I also think you should have a plan B. So I'm not saying that you won't ever be a wrestler because if you work hard enough, you can be anything you want to be. But I'm always having a big fan of having an ace in a hole. Let's take Britt Baker, for example. Yes, currently she's the AEW Women's Champion. But if Britt Baker was to ever go down and have an injury, Britt Baker can always go back to being a doctor. She is a dentist. So she doesn't have to worry about not being able to provide for herself if something should happen and she can't wrestle. Another person who has maybe a dual career would be Montez Ford and Lacey Evans. Both of those superstars are former Marines, and Lacey was learning how to be a superstar while she was in the Marines. She was pretty much fast tracked through WWE due to the fact that she was able to create her own persona and be really, really great at being an adversary character wise, and she has some wrestling skill enough for her to be able to skate by. That's what you should aspire to do. I think that wrestling should be your number one goal, true enough. But I also think that you should have an ace in the hole. You need to have a backup plan in case things don't go the way you necessarily want them to go. You have to be able to take care of yourself, to feed yourself, because Sasha Banks and yes, honey. Sasha Banks and Daniel Bryan tell stories of them, living out of their cars and eating hot dogs, only getting paid in food for shows, and you don't want to be doing that. You're better than that. And I'm not saying that they were, only worth that. I'm saying that that's what they felt they had to do to take care of themselves and appreciate the struggle before they got to the good. Whereas not everybody has to be that way. Find a way to take care of yourself and still go after your dream. You're young now, most of y'all are, so you don't have to worry about not being able to take care of yourself and then having to live out of the trunk of your car, or stay with your mom because you can't afford a place, because you're trying to wrestle and buy your own gear and all this stuff, and promoters don't want to pay you to wrestle. They want you to wrestle for free. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Side note, I was really surprised to see Shotzi and Tegan as a team on SmackDown. I was surprised that they brought them up that way. I personally would have brought Tegan up after she finished up with Candice, but I think they were just desperate to have more women on the roster. So it was just like, let her mess up Candice's chances of being champion. She got her shit back. She got her back for taking her out. Cool, Tegan, let's go. You come into the main roster. We don't have time. Like, you know what I'm saying? I watched that show too. Do wrestlers make good money? It depends. So a wrestler who has, got their shit together and was able to hold on a second, Crystal, and are able to work for WWE or work for any other wrestling promotion, for a wrestler that can actually be salaried like WWE, AEW, and MLW, they can make decent money. They can start out making a little less than six figures and then moving into that six-figure realm, like Zack Ryder was, or currently some of the other wrestlers on the roster who are still getting paid decent salaries, despite the fact that you might not see them on television. They do get paid good money. Now, someone who's on the indies who hasn't really established themselves might not make a lot of money. They might not make money that is going to be enough for them to sustain a certain lifestyle or a good livelihood. They may have to work really, really hard to get there. It really depends on your work ethic, where you go, who you know, and how far you're willing to go. But as I said many times, I think having a secondary job or a backup career is better than putting all your eggs in one basket. Not everyone is a Sasha Banks, where all you know is wrestling and that's all you've prepared yourself for. Because if things don't work out for you the way they worked out for her, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And like I know, anybody who's a person of color, we already at a disadvantage. So you need to make sure you have the best position possible to maintain your livelihood, whether it be wrestling or any other career field. You need to have a plan B. Okay? Let me put some of your comments up here. My family used to be a dentist too, and acting. Did anybody enjoy the Thunderdome pandemic era? I did. I don't understand why people or so hard on them for the Thunderdome pandemic era. They did the best they could under the circumstances. And I think they should have taken a little bit more chances with the Thunderdome, with the pandemic era. Should they have given people more opportunities that probably wouldn't have under normal circumstances? Yes, because I feel like that was the perfect time for them to do that. But they chose to play it safe, and that's where we are. I would also recommend to learn the wrestling business. That the business aspect of it is very important. I think that should come hand in hand. Just as anybody going into any field of any kind, you should know that business through and through. If you're gonna go into baking, you need to know about baking. You need to know how to run a simple business. You need to know the ins and outs of it. That's just smart. Like you should never go into a career field and not have knowledge of the field itself in its entirety. You should know what a booker's job does. You should know what the producers do. You should know what a manager does. You should know all of those things. I would also recommend that if you're going to be a wrestler, at some point you're going to be in entertainment, period. So I would recommend that you have an agent before you even start working some of these indie scenes, because you need to be represented so that people don't take advantage of you, especially if you're not up on the lingo that is used. And if, like Tirza said, if you have knowledge of the business but not full knowledge, that can also get you taken advantage of. But if you know your worth, go find you an agent. There are plenty of agents who work with wrestlers and are willing to, work with you and get you booked. I would do that. Acting sounds like a dream. Acting sounds stressful. I was surprised that they brought Tegan up before Dakota Kai. I'm not. She's attached to fucking Raquel at the hip for whatever reason. I'm not surprised by that. I'm a really good actor. I have been acting since I was little. Started acting before I knew about wrestling. I stopped to get my teeth fixed, but I didn't want to be on TV like that. I know that sometimes the pressures of Hollywood can get to you, but if there wasn't really anything wrong with your teeth, I would have kept going the way I was going. I would like to work backstage for WWE. I could be an announcer or on the creative team or anything backstage. You just said you wanted to be a wrestler, so which is it? You want to do it all. Do all of it then, baby. Go ahead, live your best life. Anyways, so hopefully Keith Lee will be back soon and we'll have a whole roster where, we'll be able to see some fun things. Oh no, my teeth were bad. Oh, okay. Well, you said it, not me. I didn't say it. I think I covered everything today. She's attached to Raquel's hip like that little cleaner fish on the shark. Oh wow. No, I want to be a wrestler, but if I can't make it, then I would like to work backstage. I would like to think that being backstage and being a part of creative and production is even more stressful than being an actual wrestler. The only thing you have to worry about is make sure your character is done right and making sure that you portray that you have a decent match when you go out there. As creative, you got to come up with the storylines. You got to make sure they make sense. Fans are relentless. We critique everything. So, and I'm sensitive as hell. You tell me my shit is trash, I'll punch you in your shit. I'm gonna hurt somebody. Like, I know you ain't insult me, bitch. I know damn well you didn't say that about me. Growing up, all I ever wanted to was a dancer. And when I became a professional at 16, I started to learn the business side of things. The entertainment business is exactly that, a business. That's facts, Cheers. I ain't even gonna front on that. All businesses have a certain vein that they operate on. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, am I marketable? Will I appeal to the masses? And if I don't in my current state, how do I get myself to be marketable and appeal to the masses? Now, you can do a niche market, which is what most businesses operate under. They operate under a niche market. So when you're talking about wrestling, wrestling is a niche side of the entertainment business. It is not something that is, widely popular, although it is popular by millions of people and millions of fans like you and me. It is still a sub level of the entertainment business. Okay. So that is a niche market, like cookies and cakes and pies and baking goods. That's a niche side or a specific side of the culinary business. Most people go to a restaurant to eat the food. They don't necessarily go to a restaurant just because there's dessert on the menu. You see what I mean? One of the people I studied was Debbie Allen. She's a dancer, but she's also a choreographer, a director, a producer, an actress. Like the Debbie Allen, of course. Debbie Allen is the one who changed how a different world was structured and how we saw it. She's the one who made it so unique and different and didn't always come from one Black person's perspective on the show. You saw the eyes of the world. You saw the world through the eyes of different people. And she made it so that Black people were seen in an array of personalities and not just one. You know what I mean? She's a very smart woman. There's only one Debbie Allen. There's only one, ladies and gents. All right. Now that I've talked myself to death, and after my sister gets done braiding my hair, I got one more left. Just one. Well, praise God. I got to dip them tomorrow. Anyways, I'm going to go to bed, and I will go live again tomorrow. And this time I'll be able to go live on time. So I can talk to y'all about NXT and if Johnny Gargano actually is going to win this championship from Karrion, because Karrion is also supposed to be brought up to the main roster, as well as Bronson Reed, which is why Bronson ended up dropping his title to Swerve, the leader of Hit Row. So we shall see how this all plays out on NXT. And if Johnny Gargano ends up on top of the mountain once again for the third time, Johnny Gargano will be a 3-time NXT champion. I don't like Gargano right now. She has her own school, which is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm currently working on. Ooh, Tears is gonna have a dance academy. I'm gonna send Tay Tay over there. She's seen Tay Tay before. He came on my live a couple times. I'm sure. He was very, very, very open. Tears a song, and she was like, "Oh, he's so cute." I said, "Yeah." So they get to screaming and hollering about McDonald's or something. Can't, you can't get them to listen. I don't know. It does. I don't feel Cross as champ. Something doesn't click. Well, I don't have a problem with Cross dropping his title. I just don't want him to drop it to Johnny Gargano. I feel like Adam Cole was the first one to start with Cross. Therefore, it should end with Cole. It started with Cole. It should end with Cole. If they're going to give anybody a secondary run, it should be Cole. Cole has been champion for over 400 plus days. And fucking Johnny just dropped the NXT North American Championship to Bronson earlier this year. And I feel like Johnny's always the guy that they go to. And I'm sick of it. Adam Cole is the better of the two in terms of character. Their wrestling is pretty much equal. They're very, very, very good wrestlers. Adam Cole's just a better character. He's just better. Wait, Cole only had one reign? Yes. Cole has been NXT North American. He's been NXT North American champion, and he's been the NXT champion once. Do you think investing in stock is worth it? Yes, it's very much worth it. That's kind of off topic, but it's true. It is very much worth it. I suggest even at a young age, if you have money in your account and you don't know what to do, you need to sign up for Stash or Robinhood or Acorn and start investing money in some of these penny stocks. You'd be surprised how much money you will make investing in these stocks and having your money grow. You can just watch it grow over time. If I was y'all, even in my young age, that's what I would be doing. That my boo, he's asleep right now. I could have sworn he had it, then dropped it to Gargano in one of their matches, then won it back. No, if I recall, Adam Cole had the title. He won the title from Gargano. They had that. Let me double check. I don't want y'all coming at my neck. Double check. No, Adam Cole is a one-time NXT champion. Like I said, Adam Cole won the title from Gargano. He had it and he defended it against Gargano, but he kept that title. He did not lose it. Damn, I thought Adam had multiple reigns. No, Adam had the title for 400 plus days, so it can appear that way, but that's not the case. Adam Cole has been champion throughout the pandemic and a little bit before and a little bit after. He was champion for, he's got the longest title reign. He beat Balor's title reign, and he had one of the best title reigns, if you ask me. But he was champion for a very long time, so I can see how that will overlap and it would kind of feel like Adam Cole has had multiple title reigns, but he hasn't. So who did Gargano win the title from and lose it to? I have to think. I can't quite remember, so I'm going to have to do some research. Hold on a second. Gargano's from Cleveland, Ohio. They got a pizza shop here too. His father is called Gargano. It's called Gargano's, I think. Yes, he is from here. He's not a bad dude. It's just I don't like his hero character, and I'm seeing him in NXT. He does put people over. I will give him that. But at bare minimum, he's like, okay, so Gargano won the NXT championship. Triple H that Gargano and Ciampa were to compete at the champ. Okay, so he won it from Ciampa, if I recall. So Gargano and Ciampa were at NXT TakeOver New York for the championship. But due to Ciampa needing real life neck surgery, he was removed from the match. Gargano was still in the match. There was a fatal 5-way match for that title. Adam Cole won the right to be his opponent. Gargano beat Cole in the 2 out of 3 falls match to win the NXT championship and become the first ever Triple Crown championship. Then he ended up going to take over, was it TakeOver 25? Where Gargano lost the championship to Adam Cole. he had a rematch in TakeOver Toronto where Cole defended his title against Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match in which each wrestler picked a stipulation and William Regal decided the final stipulation. Gargano won the second fall, but he was unsuccessful at regaining the title, losing in the final fall, which was a steel cage match where both men fell from the top of the cage through a table. And that's how he actually lost his title to Adam Cole. But he had been champion. I can't remember. But that's how he lost his title to Adam Cole. Okay. 403 days. It was a great time. I'm sorry, I was just so confused. Oh, you don't have to apologize. I totally understand. So Tommaso couldn't wrestle because he had to have actual neck surgery. The match that he had with Adam Cole at TakeOver New York was supposed to be a match with Tommaso. That was supposed to be their final bout, and Gargano was still going to win that match, so he would have been champion either way. But he ended up getting injured, so he couldn't wrestle. He had to have neck surgery, and he was out for like a whole year. That was the time that Gargano won the championship, and then he ended up having a feud with Adam Cole, in which Adam Cole ended up taking that title in that 3 Stages of Hell match that they had, and that's how Cole started his reign as NXT champion for 403 days. All right. Now that we done talked about that, I'm finna go to bed. As soon as my sister get done with this last braid, y'all, I'm going to bed. So you can see. That's my last one. You got one more? It looks like you got one more, right? What's that? What is that? Oh, that little hair right there. See how she mean? I ain't even do nothing. I ain't even do nothing, y'all. She just being mean to me. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Say goodnight. Bye. I will talk to y'all tomorrow when I watch NXT and we see if Karrion is gonna stay in NXT or if he's gonna bounce. I'm inching closer to being caught up. Can't wait. Y'all have a good night. I'll talk to y'all later.